thank you all for inviting me here. And I wish I had gone around and gotten the names of everyone who marched in the Unity rally with us. But I want to send a special shout out to all of you young people. We kind of kept mentioning that there weren't very many. But if you've heard me speak before, or if not, I'll tell you that there's this rumor, there's this myth that the civil rights movement was all black people who rose up with one voice and, decided to smash the system. But really, it was like 11 people in each county who were looked at crazy and didn't get all the support that they thought they should have a lot of the time. So if the people who were not the majority of citizens were able to create a movement that we're still talking about and that we're still benefiting from, I know that us small in number, 9, 11 conscientious students can do the same thing. So the first thing I want you to do is repeat after me. Are you ready?
Yes.
UNITY. UNITY, that's a unity. One more time. UNITY. Love a black man from infinity to infinity. I could not, thank you. We're all going on the road. I could not make some remarks about unity without Queen Latifah jumping into my spirit and demanding that I quote her in my remarks. Now, Queen Latifah wrote that song in the 1990s. Many of you were born in the 90s, so you may not be familiar with the song, unless you're like some of the young people I meet who are 90s files. Like, they're all into the 90s, the fashion, the music. They're rewatching It's a Different World, right? They're rewatching Girlfriends and that sort of thing. You may have heard of Queen Latifah. In her song, it takes place in 3 verses. The first verse is about street harassment. And she calls black men to account about harassing black women on the street. And it ends with her saying, "I punched him dead in his eye." The second verse is about domestic violence. And she calls, once again, black women to account and black men to account and black women to account, telling black women to love themselves and to know that they're worth more than a relationship. And then the third verse is about women who she says, quote, have taken on the gangster bitch persona, right? And it's so interesting that this is, going on 20 years ago now, 25, 30 years ago now. And we still see in popular culture that there are some personalities that we love who have adopted a lot of what appears to be gangsta cool pose. And Queen Latifah kind of, parses that and talks about where it might lead if all you focus on is being intimidating and not on being loving. So in Queen Latifah's world, unity can only be achieved with love and accountability, right? So a lot of people want to shout out unity. We need to get together, but they don't operate in love and they don't hold each other accountable, right? We can't just sit in a room and pretend like there aren't any ways in which our various movements aren't at war with each other in certain ways, right? But today, what I want to talk about is how you all can unify and hold Lewis and Clark accountable, right? We know that throughout the 1960s, there were these student movements. There were young people on college campuses that changed regimes. Young people who occupied administration buildings and sat in. At Howard University, they wouldn't teach any black history courses. And black students walked into the president's office and slept there for days and nights and held him hostage there too. Until he would agree to have a curriculum that reflected the student body. The same thing happened Northwestern University. And the same thing happened all over the U.S., where you had some black schools and some predominantly white institutions that had black students and allies who said, we want our unity to be love and accountability. So here are 5 ways that you can hold Lewis and Clark accountable and thus create unity. So the first way is to ask the question, whom must we divest from? Divest. When you divest, you split something apart, right? Sometimes we talk about the African diaspora, the split seed, diaspora. Divest. You come apart from something. And what I wanted to let you know is that every college has something that's called an endowment. They take some of the monies they receive from tuition and books and fees, and they invest them in the stock market. And in that way, they have extra money. So no one has to raise their hand, but you might know someone who was really in dire need. Maybe their financial aid ran out. Maybe they lost their scholarship. And someone in the financial aid office had a soft heart, and somehow that money appeared. Well, that money did not appear out of that financial aid officer's pocket. It is likely that there was a fund or an endowment, right? Just like our grandmothers have savings and they bail people in the family out every now and then. Can I get a witness? Hello, she's like, yes, my grandma. And so that's what the college has. But let's think about what is meant by ethical endowments. Sometimes people, and when I say people, I mean colleges, they invest with companies that invest in private prisons or regimes that don't give people their rights, right? And you should hold Lewis and Clark accountable and ask them if they have ethical endowments. The second question is, whom must we support? So I just said, who should we pull away from, right? Who should we divest our money from? So when you guys are having this meeting that I envision you have with the powers that be, the next thing you're going to ask is, whom must we support? And here's what I wrote about that. The organization-wide strategic plan for diversity and inclusion should be an open source published document. The planning process should also be available for all members of the stakeholder community to provide input. One way to assure transparency in this area is to create a dedicated web page that is connected to the Diversity and Inclusion Office. The web page should have clear calls to action and contact space, as well as a downloadable document. So we have our wonderful diversity and inclusion leader who is graciously agreeing to record me, right? So she's got her work cut out for her. Like, you know, in the Bible it says, write the vision and make it plain. No college is going to become the inclusive place that we think it should be without that written down. You guys know what a vision board is, correct? A diversity and inclusion strategic plan is a college's vision board. They need a vision board that everybody can see. The third question is, whom must we hire? Whom must we hire? Are we being transparent about the hiring process? Every time they hire a full-time person, there should be a student on the hiring committee. Why? Because that's who's going to be affected by that hire, right? That's who's going to either get that great instruction in the classroom or that passive-aggressive bias in the classroom. That's who's either going to get graded fairly or who's going to mysteriously never be able to write an essay that quite gets an A and can't be explained as to why not. That's who's going to be affected by that. It says, are we being transparent about job descriptions? Are we being transparent about the data concerning race, gender, ability, and age? Too often, the fact that there are no people of color in the supervisor's suite, for instance, is treated as anecdotal. Like people just look and go, oh, there aren't enough people of color, or there aren't enough queer people, or there aren't enough disabled people. But sometimes when you look at the data and how people disclosed, right? Because some of our diversity information isn't readily available with our eyes, right? I could have a traumatic brain injury. I could need a support animal. I could have a chronic illness, and I could be a member of a population that we're trying to serve at this school. But just because it doesn't look like it doesn't mean it's not there. Either way, it should be transparent. The fourth way, and I told you I'm going to tell you 5, is to ask, with whom should we collaborate? This one queries whether we are being transparent about the businesses and organizations we collaborate with. Organizations should strive to associate themselves with businesses that are making ethical and transparent choices about diversity and inclusion. Now, this gets into a tricky area, right? Because schools always need money. So if the local garage that has up a anti-Muslim sign in its window also donates money to the campus, we're in a strange place, am I right? Because we do want to have a scholarship set aside for students who are going into the automotive trades. And we do want to talk about that anti-Muslim sign in your garage's window. So none of this is easy. None of it is simple. But these are the types of things that students can ask about and that they can press administration to address. On your college's website, it tells you the names of people who are members of the 1838 Society. Those are people who give $1,838 annually or more. And that's because that's when Monticello College was founded, right? The original college. And they have a list of names and businesses. You could look at that list of names and businesses and see, are those people that you would like to walk beside? Are they people who would see you as comrades and see you as valuable to them? Have they made relationships with the school and hired people from the school, right? All of those are valid questions to ask yourself when thinking about unity. And then number 5, let me go back and find number 5. Number 5 is, are we being transparent? So over the past several years, numerous high-profile cases of police brutality have been in the news. The calls for data associated with the race and gender of people injured and killed by police have grown. The Washington Post is keeping an online counter based on news reports, public records, social media, and other sources. As of the writing of this, the number of people killed by the police was at 386. The year before, it was 1,000 people. And we were on track to match that and exceed that. The startling lack of transparency stands as a testament to the real lack of will in the direction of eliminating citizen deaths at the hands of the police. Why don't the police themselves keep track of how many citizens do not survive interactions with them? Are there policemen who've killed more than once? Are there neighborhoods or zip codes where one is more likely to die at the hands of law enforcement? We assume there are more men than women killed by police. Is that true? Why might that be? The larger question is, what do we stand to lose when a process is kept intentionally opaque? So how does that pertain to Lewis and Clark? Well, there should be no secrets. Every year, they fill out an accountability instrument, and you have to fill it out too. It's called the FAFSA. Oh, Lord. The FAFSA. They want to know your parents' tax information. You know, they're all in your business. And it's because you're entering into a covenant with Lewis and Clark. I'm going to give you these funds wherever you get them from. A scholarship, state grant, federal grant, however you get them from my pocket. And you're going to give me a quality education at a place where my gifts and goals are honored and that I can fall on fertile ground and grow. That's the agreement. So that means that there can't be any secrets. There's nothing to be secretive about. So I will end with this. Can you repeat after me? UNITY. infinity to infinity.
Love each one of you from infinity to infinity.
Thank you.